Today's term of the day is election fraud. It's only a crime if you get caught. Alright, in this video, I'm going to do a mini video essay on this web series called Battle for Dream Island, and how some elements of it is literally dragging the show down. Alright, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the show lately has had a serious problem with things like voting in the community, and I don't want the show to evolve into it being known for some toxic cesspool, but I mean, the community is already cringy as hell, so, I mean, damn. The show, especially in its latest episode, spoiler alert by the way, has had a pretty big problem with its voting system, and I think everyone who's involved in the community needs a quick wake-up call that you're doing the absolute most over some animated objects. Alright, so we're going over BFDI TPOT's voting system, and how if things don't change, we'll probably be ruined for the rest of the show. But first, what is BFDI TPOT? Battle for Dream Island is a web series created by the Huang twins, Carrie and Michael.
I'm not
The show follows a cast of inanimate objects battling it out for a chance to win a prize of some sort. Can you guess what it is? The show first premiered on January 1st, 2010, and is still currently running on YouTube today with its 5th season, The Power of Two, and its sister season, Battle for Dream Island again. I've been watching this for 12 years, man. I'm old as hell. Battle for Dream Island is a show driven by its community. It's so community driven that the audience have a direct effect on the show. You see, BFDI is kinda like Total Drama or Survivor. Objects are split into 2 teams, and after each challenge, one team will lose. But instead of competitors voting each other off, the viewers get to vote out who they want out of the show. In the span of 14 years, the show has had over 1 million votes. Man, if only elections had that kind of turnout. Over time, the show moved from a vote to eliminate format to a vote to save format. So characters that are actively being developed actually have a chance to, survive. This format was introduced in Season 4B and extended into the 5th season of the show, TPOT. Battle for Dream Island, The Power of Two, premiered on January 1st, 2021, the latest episode being uploaded on December 18th, 2023. This season follows 43 objects split into 6 teams of 7. 2 teams will lose a challenge and be put up for elimination. From there, a viewer can vote in the comments on which competitor they want to save from elimination. After an episode is uploaded, the voting period lasts exactly 48 hours. In the following episode, the results of the voting will reveal who was safe and who was not. The competitor that receives the least amount of votes on their team will be eliminated from the show. Alright, you got all of that? You got it down? You got it in your noggin? Alright, good. Let's move on. In episodes using the vote to eliminate system, the votes have been generally normal. This margin between the votes is what typically goes down in the show, one person that does something versus people that do nothing. After Season 4A, Episode 16, the vote to eliminate format was replaced with the vote to save format, leading to Season 4B. And this is where things start to get a little more interesting. There is a significant amount of almost tied votes throughout the season run. In fact, there's several examples of this throughout the entire season. But at that point, this was a completely new phenomenon in the show, so it was pretty rare to see a tied vote between like a bunch of people, almost an entire team, actually. Moving into TPOT though, throughout the past 9 episodes, the show has experienced the same interesting voting patterns. On episodes 1 and 2, the voting turnout was fairly normal, as you can see in this graph. Yeah, we don't see too much of that anymore. From episode 3 and on, with the exception of 1 episode, the voting turnout has been alarmingly more controversial than it has ever been in the show's history. It's actually kind of insane, like 6 out of the 9 episodes in the season run so far have resulted in a tied vote. I'm saying tied with quotations because of one reason. We'll get into that later. Anyway, this is a recurring problem that deliberately happens in any episode with a team full of fan favorites or a team full of complete ass because of one thing. The bracket counter is a tool created by community member Figgy C, which uses the YouTube API to do a live counting and estimation of the votes after an episode is uploaded, which allows community members to watch and predict the final results of a vote. The original bracket counter, created by Figgy C, was in use from Season 4 to Episode 5 of Season 5. From there, a new bracket counter, created by user Zelo, was put into use into Episode 7, and is still being used now. Alright, cool, so there's a method to see an estimate of the official voting results live. I mean, cool, right? What could go wrong with that? A vote war is where a group of certain characters, often fan favorites, are all trailing in a similar number of votes, and viewers are able to rally, switch, and often bot votes to save a certain character up for elimination. After every vote war, the end result are the votes being extremely close to each other, thus it being concluded as a tie. This is because the votes read on the bracket counter are unofficial and too close to call. The way Jacknjellify, the creators of the show, count the votes are unknown, as the votes vary heavily from the counter. Ways people rally for their characters during these vote wars are like insane, man. People are making propaganda leaflets. Like, could you imagine some of the political campaigns some of these people can pull off? You will see a channel like the official BFDI Discord's Vote Spoilers channel literally turn into a 4chan board on steroids after an episode releases. Anyway, these voting wars generate a lot of buzz in the community, and they wouldn't be hyped to the merit they are if it weren't for these channels literally adding flame to the fire by streaming these vote counters to like literally thousands of people for 2 days in a row. Alright, first I want to clarify that I love Vote to Save. It was the best thing the show could have done. With Vote to Eliminate, so many characters were written off the show with actual bullshit reasons. I could name like 6 eliminations where it was clearly a last minute choice to boot off that specific character. Vote to Save actually gives writers the incentive to develop a character better. I'm telling you, in TPOT alone, there's been like 20 or so characters that have been massively improved, including the GOAT. But these vote wars, man, I just don't like them anymore. TPOT eats vote. You can see characters that are way ahead of the curve, but right when the voting bracket streams get popping, there goes the vote war. I don't know, man. I just don't think voting is really gonna be worth it anymore. It just seems like a cycle now. I mean, a glimpse of what the show's voting could potentially become was pretty much what happened recently.
Viewers, just not is up for elimination.
Okay,
you
so
only get
Nickel's
one
up for
vote
elimination
total.
in
So vote for
TPOT
one
463 votes,
Make
as well as prize.
I will give away
5 Nickel Plushies.
TPOT 9's voting war has pretty much brought out the worst in the community. Over campaigning, death threats, actual bribing from people who work on the show. And don't worry, well, I'll get into that later. Vandalism and a glimpse of what future voting in TPOT will be. You know, what fun. All right, so let's get some background on this mess. On TPOT 9, only one team lost due to the episode having a triple elimination, a first in the show's history. The team Just Not had Book, Pillow, Nickel, Price Tag, and Bombi up for elimination. When the voting period began, Bombi was already ahead of the curve, while the rest of his team, specifically Nickel, were all trailing behind around the same number of votes. Okay, cool. This is a normal setup for a standard voting war, right? You know, the usual propaganda and the corny slogans and phrases, you know, the usual, right? No, not really. You see, this character Pillow is kind of controversial on her team. You know, here's a quick summary on the episode. So, there's a zombie apocalypse and the challenge is to stay alive, right? Well, Pillow misinterprets the challenge as trying to take out her own teammates. So she does exactly that until Bombi suicides himself to stop her. This shit is dark, what the hell? Anyway, this rose an argument on Pillow. Some people thought she was doing way too much on her team and her character was reduced to a murderer who was a threat and needed to be voted off immediately, which is fair. However, on the other side of the argument, people saw Pillow as the only interesting part of her team, and her being antagonistic and brutal as a character that was lacking in the show, and it fit pretty well into the episode's theme, which again is fair. But why be fair when you can send death threats? For some reason, people hated Pillow so much that they took the time out of their day to begin sending death threats to people who even mentioned voting for her. Like, bro, imagine you're a kid just telling your friend you want to vote for Pillow, then being told that you're a waste of space in your family bloodline. I mean, damn, wasn't that serious? You would think they'd be advocating for like the next president, but no, just a fucking animated price tag. I'm just saying, man, how petty do you have to be to vandalize a wiki page just because you don't like a character? Okay, I mean, this is kind of funny, but still. Anyway, after the effort of bed, some other fucking acronyms like that, the character that ended up with the lowest votes is Nickel. Interesting. Man, I sure do wonder if foul play was involved. Nah, of course not. Moving on. We've seen how voting wars can be influenced from hype streams, threats, etc. But what happens if someone involved in the show tries to influence a vote war? Meet Katz. Adam Katz runs a YouTube channel called Animation Epic, where his own show, Anime Insanity, is hosted. Adam and the Huang twins have been longtime partners for the past 12 years, even often having crossovers with both of their franchises. For example, the character Nickel is a character that originated from Adam Katz, and when Nickel began competing in season 2 of BFDI, Adam joined the cast as a voice actor for the character. Alright, now that we got Adam's history, let's take a look at some of the goofy antics Adam gets up to sometimes. You know, like jeopardizing his integrity on the show and bribing his audience of 500k followers and merchandise in order to keep a character safe from elimination. You know, the usual. Alright, during TPOT 9's vote war, I still can't believe he did this. Adam uploaded a video of him telling his audience to make sure that Nickel is safe in TPOT 9 because he's up for elimination. And if he's safe, he will give away 5 Nickel Plushies.
Okay, so Nickel is up for elimination in TPOT 9. If he survives to TPOT 10, I will give away 5 Nickel Plushies to 5 of you guys here. You know, you don't have to vote for him to stay, but if he survives, I will do a giveaway of 5 Nickel Plushies. You heard it here first.
5 Nickel Plushies. Yeah. About that, Adam. About that.
Check it out. Oh, good morning, Rupert. Please tell me you set the timer on the coffee maker because I completely forgot. Hey, Carl. Hey, can I get a couple of scratch-off lottery tickets? Oh, sure, Brian. Oh, Brian, can I do one? I love scratches. Well, all right, maybe just one. Cherry? Another cherry?
I still can't believe Adam thought this was a good idea. I mean, yeah, he deleted the video afterwards after he got like a ton of backlash for it, but bro, why? And I see a lot of people online bringing up this YouTuber that made a character evaluation on Eggy as it's some like grand counterpoint on what Adam did. No. You literally can't even compare the two. A person on YouTube makes a video essay on a character and it wasn't even posted when they were up for elimination. What Adam did was literally bribe his audience to make sure that a character was safe during a vote war while dangling some Nickel Plushies above their heads. Like, you can't compare the two. They're incompatible with each other. Like, holy hell, this guy did not deserve any of the shit he's been getting right now. What if I told you this wasn't the first time Adam was doing this? Alright, here's some context. There's some controversy in episode 4 of season 2 where the character Teardrop got eliminated. This was because this account named Derpy Hooves got their audience to eliminate Teardrop from the show, saving the character Coiny. For a good while, everyone pretty much thought that Derpy Hooves was the man himself, Adam 5 Plushie Katz. And given the fact that the members of the crew would often reply to banter from the account, honestly made it really believable. And later himself, Adam said that Derpy Hooves was his cousin. Sure, yeah, cousin. Listen, man, I don't know. Look, these are just allegations, all right? These are allegations, nothing's been proven, concrete at least, but I don't know, man. The mix of Adam randomly appearing in the Discord after 5 years of inactivity and Derpy Hooves returning after 12 years of inactivity to drop a vote just in time for the voting war, like, really makes me just a little suspect of Adam here. I'm not saying he's guilty of anything, but like, listen, man, I got my eye on you, Adam. Anyway, with all that out of the way, is voting in the show really going to be worth it anymore? Look, I'm not saying you should stop voting in the future episodes and all that, but I seriously think that the one thing the show is going to be known for is also probably going to be its poison. As future episodes go on, I feel like a vote isn't going to be something that's going to be looked forward to, but just like a huge worry to everyone. And as more and more popular characters are put up against each other, and the possibility of people getting the opportunity to vote one of their favorite characters back in the show who's been eliminated, it's not going to be one of the community's proudest moments. I mean, damn, man, all this over some cartoon pillows, like, shit. But there's this video uploaded by Carrie Huang called Keeping BFDI Casual. It goes into how the show was never really meant to be taken this seriously on both a creative perspective and a viewer perspective. Carrie makes a good analogy about how the show was supposed to be enjoyed. It's like going to your friend's house to play a game, just for a little bit of fun, and then leaving after, you just enjoyed your time. It's supposed to be a quick cartoon to watch and actively participate in. I just think everyone needs to take a quick breather because, man, things have gotten really hostile lately. Like, just chill out, man. Get you some popcorn, watch a new episode, leave a comment who you want to save, and move on.
5 Nickel Plushies.
No, I don't belong.